Hi fashion lovers. So today it is how to cut this gown, alright. Now you can actually cut this on pattern paper. Before cutting it on the fabric, you can equally cut it on the fabric. So whichever one it's okay, but if you cut it on the pattern paper, you get to manage fabric, okay? So this is the calculation I'm working with: shoulder 16, bust 36, waist 30, hip 40, half length 17, gown length 38, bust point 18, and under bust 15. All right, so let's move to the table for the cutting. All right, so guys, this is like a basic pattern. Okay, this is a basic pattern. You can see I've labeled it all: the bust point, the under bust, and the waist. All right, that is my waist. Okay, and for the waist I went for 18. You know, on the calculation we had 17, so I went for 18. 1 inches for joining of the shoulder and the down part. Okay, now what this is your basic. Once you have your basic, all right, this is folded into two. You mark your nipple to nipple. Yes, now the gown length of this is 38. This pattern paper is long. Okay, the pattern paper in question is about 36. Okay, so you fold your pattern paper using the length of your gown, then you mark. What I'm marking now is my nipple to nipple, straight down. Now for you to achieve this style, you can either use a princess dart breast tube or a normal princess dart. Either of these two can go. Even a normal waist dart can equally go, but for perfect, work with princess dart or princess dart breast tube. So therefore, I'll be going for princess dart breast tube. So on the under bust, you mark your 2 inches. Okay, you mark 1 inches. Then you connect it from the bust point to the under bust the way I just did. You connect the other side of the 2 inches the way I just did. Then you connect it down the same way down. All right, now having done this, we are almost done. The next thing is you get your French cuff. Place it very well, position it. Now you can use the shoulder, middle shoulder. All right, I believe most of us have learned how to do what I'm doing right now. So you connect with your French curve. All right, now watch where I connected it to. It is very important you watch where I connected it to. Okay, now when you connect it, you fold the down part of it in between the 2 inches where you marked 2 inches and curve. You see the curving I did there. The distance between that is at most half inches. Quarter is best. All right, now having done that, on the armhole part, mark 1 inches from where you marked earlier. 1 inches from where you marked earlier. Place your French cuff, connect it back to the line. Now why is this? Is to give it more curviness, to make your princess dart more curvy. Okay, for the breast tube space. Now once you curve it, you connect it back. That 1 inches extension, you connect it back to the armhole. All right, now we have gotten to this extent. All right, what next? It is our neck width. For this dress, I'll be working with 4 inches as my neck width. Now you can see the front of this dress is high neck. All right, therefore I'll be working with, I can work with 4, I can work with 4.5. All right, so whatever you have in mind is what you work, but for me, I'm going for 4.5. All right, then I like to make a square before curving my neck. it makes it easy. So I've made the square. Then the next thing, I'll curve. All right, I'll curve the neck, and at the same time slant my shoulder by 1 inch. Okay, square makes curving, especially when you're dealing with round, makes it more easy, alright, to curve. You don't go out of the box. It makes it. Then your neckline, the shoulder, you slant it by 1 inch. You slant your shoulder. It's compulsory we slant shoulder by 1 inch. All right, then after slanting your shoulder by 1 inch, we are done. Now what is next? The down part of this dress. Once you have gotten to this extent, the down part of this dress. Now, the dress Vicky James is wearing has a straight cut on the center, and it went down to the gown length. For you to get that same nipple to nipple you marked earlier, come down, mark it at the end of your pattern paper, at the end of your gown length. Now I'm assuming that this pattern paper is the gown length of 38. Okay, so I'm believing that this pattern paper in length is 38. Okay, so at the end of your length, you connect it this way I just did right now. Nipple to nipple, you connect it down. You see that? Now, because there is a dart, did you see the dart? Because there is a dart on it, you need to take this dart down. Now, if you slant the dart, your front will not be straight. So the same 1 inch you took up there, that same 1 inch is what you take down. It will not be slanted. Okay, so it doesn't budge. All right, it needs to be straight. So connect it straight, not slanted. If you have to connect it this way, it will be slanted. We don't need that. So straight, the same 1 inch, you take 1 inch. All right, so you place it straight this way, connect it straight. That is it. Okay, now if you have gotten to this extent, you're almost done. Yes, now our front is ready. The next thing is just to cut. Okay, the next thing is to cut. Then we'll work on the back. You curve, slant your shoulder, now you already know how we cut Princess Dart, right? You follow it straight down. You can't avoid to make mistake when it comes to Princess Dart, especially the part that is curvy. You go straight. You curve. Now you cut that out. That 1 inch you curved back. Now at this bust point, for any reason, don't make mistake of cutting. This is how you cut it. If it is not like this, you will not get it. You have not gotten it. This is how you cut it. Okay, then you go straight. That is it. This is how the front will be. If it's a Princess Dart, this is, you will equally have something like this, but not too curvy. Okay, So let's go for the back. All right, let's go for the back. The back is basic, okay? Now if you watch this Vicky James gown, it has zip at the front. If they zip at the front, no need of putting zip at the back, therefore there will be no zip at the back. All right, and following the pattern of the pattern at which it is, there's no zip. But if you want your zip to be at the back, you have to make provision for zip, okay? You have to make provision for zip at the back. All right, if you want zip at the back, you make provision for it. Possibly a shorter zip, maybe it's the zip that will stop right at the waistline. Okay, if you're having zip at the back, your zip will possibly stop at the waistline. That will be the best, but you can equally extend it if you wish to. All right, so that is our back. Basically, I marked shoulder. I made provision for the zip allowance, which I did 1.5. I marked my shoulder, my bust and waist. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the rule and connect it perfectly well before I'll start marking. Okay, now I haven't marked and curved the armhole. I'll just come to the waist, mark the waist measurement. Okay, according to what I have 7.5 should be the waist according to the calculation. Then I'll add my sewing allowance to it. All right, then I'll connect. Now basically this is a basic back. All right, zip allowance for those that want zip, but if you don't want zip at the back, your zip is at the front, put your zip at the front, then there will be no zip at the back. Okay, now the same neck width we use for the front and 2 inches for our neck depth for the back. 2 inches for our neck depth for the back. All right, now like I said earlier, I like to square before covering my neck, especially when I'm dealing with the back neck and the roundness curve. Okay, now you slant it by 1 inches. This is my zip allowance. Let me write it out. Okay, now having gotten this, what is left is to slant the shoulder. Once it's slanted, we are good to go. Then we'll cut. So this is my back pattern. The next is just to cut. You're starting from the waistline to cut. Slant the side. The next is the armhole and the neckline. Then we are going for our armhole. Now for the front armhole, you can always deepen it, recurve it after sewing, after padding, joining. You feel it is too much, you can always recurve it. So basically this is it. Okay, now let me place it for you to see how it is meant to be. Okay, now for the down parts, the gathers parts, the bogus parts, You can use flay. All right, you can equally work with gathers or pleats. Any pattern of gathers you want is your choice. Flay, pleats, gathers, anyone. Okay, but you can see in that video it's obvious where there is a flay. All right, with gathers, I think they did little gathering on the waist. Okay, so whichever one you wish to do, that is it. So this is how it's meant to be. You can see the center front is longer, the sides are short. So if you have it like this, what next? You get either your pleats or your gathers will cover the remaining parts. Okay, what part am I talking about? The back completely, and some part of the, just like this way that I just placed it now. After you must have finished sewing, joining, that is when you attach. It can either be a pleat, it can be gathers like I said earlier, or flay. Whichever one can go for what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm trying to pleat it so you get to see how it looks. So basically you join that gathers pleat to you start from the center front, where the dart stopped. You start sewing it, go round and join the other parts. Okay, this is how it will look. All right, so if you have any question, guys, drop it on the comment section. Okay, and remember, when cutting the center front, guys, something, if you're trying to place this center front on your fabric and you want zip, don't forget to put zip allowance. What I did now, placing it this way, you can see I went in a little bit. That is zip allowance if you want the zip at the front the way it is on Vicky Jane.